Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be going over what are option selects, different forms of... Shut the fuck up, Darbany. Dickhead, I'm trying to explain something. Right, anyway. So we're just going to go over like what is an option select, some basic option selects, different outcomes. So to go through this option selects, I have Mr. Frog, Chadinator Frog with me. He's a good friend of mine and he's very knowledgeable when it comes to stuff like this. He contributes a lot to competitive For Honor and stuff like that. Obviously we've got Freeze, who covers the more technical things on YouTube, you know. But still to this day I get so many comments asking what is the option selects. So yeah, we're just going to cover it now. Right, so Mr. Frog, what is an option select?
Okay, so basically at its most fundamental level, an option select just means it's something that covers multiple options with a single input or move.
Yep.
So, one really easy example of that would be if I were to throw a heavy, or if you were going to throw a heavy and you feint it to guard break, or you don't feint it, I can parry it and zone option select. And if you feint to guard break, I'll hit you with that. So, very simple option select. And if you let the heavy go, you'll see it still parries. So that's me just simply pressing the zone input on heavy timing. And it works like that.
So this gets used quite a lot when there's like unblockables, like the one top unblockable, for example. Like.
Yeah, I'm scared. I don't want to be beaten by the feint to guard break, and I'm afraid of that heavy. Right. So I start zoning. It's kind of a little panic button sometimes.
Yeah, so it's just one input that covers multiple outcomes, basically. So there's obviously characters where this is very strong, the parry option select, but there's characters where it's weak, right? So
yeah, for sure.
Characters like the PK zone, the parry, Orochi zone, basically the fast zones.
Yeah, those ones can be really hard to parry. Then there's a couple other ones too that are also pretty strong, worth mentioning. I would say Gladiator Zone, because it's unblockable, it's a bash.
Yeah.
Similar to BP Zone, and then also like Shigoki Zone, it has hyper armor, so it'll beat some feint light options and such.
Yeah, so this thing with the option selects as well with the zone parry, you've got to be careful that you don't get baited for the parry. Basically, if you overuse it, if you're against a decent player that knows what he's doing, he's going to bait the option select, which is what I do a lot in my videos. So I'm going to bait the option select parry now. So yeah, I'm ready for that parry though. So yeah, you've got to be careful with that.
And part of the way the dynamic and the fighting works in For Honor with the zone option selects is they're an unfeintable option. So in this case, if I know that you, Havoc, are going to go for the parry on it, what I would do is simply throw the heavy feint. And now, because you stood there and watched and waited for a parry, you aren't punishing this option. So it kind of creates a defensive mix-up for me that which option am I going to use? This one's unfeintable, and can be punished on reaction, but beats multiple options, you know, versus this one, which is standardly going to lose to a guard break. But if I know you're waiting for it, the parry, then I can do that.
Yeah.
So I would say that, like, more in depth, one of the most basic option selects, you know, there's universal ones that apply to every character. And the one that you'll see most commonly, probably, is dodge into roll. And especially against Warden, you'll see that technically is an option select. So if you go for a shoulder bash, right? And whether it's level 1 or 3, I'm going to be option selecting it. Right? Oh, I fucked up my roll, but... Here, go ahead. Right, so that's an option select. I'm option selecting both 1 and level 3 timing.
Yeah.
So of course you can bait it with your Valiant Breakthrough, but you know.
Yeah, I'll do that.
That is an option select, and it's a little bit more universal. So. And like that, yeah, exactly. You'll hear a lot mentioned in the high level play in For Honor is that defense is too strong. And part of the reason is that there's certain characters have lots of option selects, and that can make it very difficult to deal with them if you're trying to start your offense. Like if Havoc, if you're just trying to shoulder bash me, I could do any number of things. I could light attack you. That beats out level 1 and 3, right? Whoops, my bad, go ahead. Right? Not a lot you can do about that, except for feigning to parry.
Yeah.
Right? And if you're waiting for the feint to parry, I could just forward dodge bash you, right?
Yeah.
Mix up your defense a little bit more. And then on top of that, I can still just normal dodge, or I can dodge into roll. So there's tons of options that I can do. I could even dodge attack to, you know, just dodge bash you, right? And then if you go for a level 3, I'll bash you right out of that. And so
Okay.
that's a good example of why option selects, having a lot of them, is really strong for a character's defense, and part of what makes defense really good in For Honor.
All right. Cool.
So this will just be an option select of light and heavy on one parry. Like, so go ahead and throw either a light or a heavy, and I can option select either one. Whoops, my bad. Sorry, I messed that up. Go ahead. Right there. And so what I'm doing is I'm parrying on light timing by charging, and then I'm releasing in after a little bit, and my full block covers my superior block covers it, so I can parry both or counter both with one button.
Oh, okay.
Like that.
I see.
Ah.
So you're basically doing that on an indicator.
Yeah, so I can light or heavy, and I'll counter both of them. Whoops, my fault. I was a little early.
Yeah. No.
Right there?
I get what you're doing now.
Personally, my favorite one for Conquer is I can start charging and then immediately go into full block,
Okay.
and so that'll full block heavies while parrying lights.
Okay.
So if you want to go ahead, either one of them. All right.
Ah. Okay.
There you go. And then, oops, slow for me. So that's me pressing the same string of inputs, and it just looks like full block. If you see it baited, it just looks like full block. What it actually is, I'm charging, and then I'm soft feinting to full block out of the charge. So, all right. So one of the better parts about Nusha, for example, while she doesn't have a lot of options herself defensively, and she's not generally considered to be too great, her traps, because they're reactable, so people aren't a big fan of them because, you know, you'll just get lighted out of them for using them. But what they do really well is cover option selects, because if I'm trying to do something that covers multiple options, as long as the trap is one of the options that's covered, then it won't work. Like if you threw a heavy feint guard break, right? Go ahead and do that. And I'm throwing that zone, it will beat it, right?
Yeah.
And you have to bait it out. But if you were to use a trap, that would both option select whether I parry with a if I parry with a heavy or with a zone, or I throw my crushing counter light, right? Do any one of those three things, and you throw a trap, it'll catch all three of them. Oops, I did that too early. Go ahead. Alright, so no matter which option I pick there, if I'm not bad, will get grabbed.
Okay.
Oh, again, I'm doing it on light timing. Go ahead again. Right there. So I'm trying to use different sorts of option selects, and all of them are getting grabbed by her traps. And that's what makes her decent, as well as covering blocking.
Yeah.
'Cause, so that's one of the things she does well. And, of course, because it's For Honor, there are ways to option select the trap as well. So if I choose to parry on light attack timing, that means I'll punish light attacks and traps, and the only way to beat it, I'll punish, not only will I punish light attacks and traps, I'll also punish heavy feint guard break. The only way that you'll beat it is by throwing a raw heavy. So if you want to show that real quick, you can just throw any one of those options. So if I parry on light timing, I'm going to get punished by that. But if you throw a trap, I'm going to hit it. Throw that, you're going to bounce off. But that raw heavy will hit. And if you throw a light, you'll see I'll parry that as well.
Okay.
So that's all three covered in one option. Oops, go ahead. Right there. And the only way you're going to beat it is with the raw heavy. This is something that hopefully we'll see more of in the future. But For Honor is slowly but surely moving towards an offensive meta, somewhat. And we're getting offensive option selects, which are pretty handy and pretty cool. And so something, for example, that you might see, if I were to go for this, and after my headbutt, you wanted to push buttons, take back your turn. Basic fighting game logic, we have turns, and you want to take back your turn because, I just did an action. I can actually, because I have frame advantage, that's one of the biggest examples of an offensive option select. So I can light attack after that, and it'll beat out anything you can do but parry or maybe dodge it, right? You're forced to defend still. So if I headbutt you, and then you go for a light attack afterwards. So
Yeah.
if you just go for a light after my headbutt, you'll see mine connects much earlier.
Okay.
Right
Yeah.
there. You're never gonna beat that. And if you go for a heavy, same story. If you go for a forward dodge bash, same story. But of course, you can beat that by just waiting and parrying.
Yeah.
And he actually has so much frame advantage here. He has so much frame advantage here that if I go for a heavy and you go for a light to take back your turn, I will hyper armor it. You'll see. So just go ahead and do another light. Like that. And it's still my turn. So that's an offensive option select again right there, is that it's my turn and I can throw those lights or heavies to reinforce my turn.
Alright. Okay.
So it forces you to respect my turn and basically wait for me to do something if you don't want to risk eating a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And again, it's the same case in a lot of things. So if you block 2 lights for me again, so just block, I'm going to finish with a top light. So if you go like that, and then we both light attack afterwards, you'll see it's the same story.
Wow,
right?
yeah,
It's
okay.
my turn still.
I'm pretty much spamming that light attacks as soon as I block
Exa-
your second light,
Yeah, so his finishers, because they've got such... And the way that works is because his recoveries are so good, he gets to attack first.
Yeah.
His recovery is shorter than your block stun. So basically, I go like that, and then... whoops, my bad. I was at a chain light, so... And then it's my turn, and I think you can beat out a headbutt, but I'm not too sure. But yeah, it's... So that's the way of reinforcing the turn, and then as soon as you start waiting for that, because you know not to light attack anymore, right? Then I can start going for headbutts and actual mix-ups there. So, like, you respect your turn, you're waiting, then I get to headbutt.
Okay.
So, there's that. I had one more thing I wanted to mention. See if I can remember what it is. Oh, I was just going to show it's also the exact same case after his zone as well. So if you block my zone attack, you'll see it's still my turn again. Alright? Right there.
Yeah.
I'm still getting that light out before you. So, right there. That forces you on the defensive. And that, you look at it, that's the case for almost all of Warlord's moves, and it's one of the things that makes him a really good character, other than the things that stand out, obviously. Like, right, obviously, you've got good damage, good health, I mean, fast bash. But there's more to it. There's more to it. Like, he's got this good frame advantage, and it's part of the reason what makes him offensively good, On top of having enhanced lights, really allows him to reinforce that frame advantage. And so yeah, that would be an offensive option select right there. It would be going for the light after I've finished with my turn. It's basically checking your turn, making sure that you're still respecting me.
Yeah.
And it beats out anything you do. So, again, it would be an option select because it's one input that I'm doing, the light attack, that's covering all of your options after the headbutt, except for, waiting to parry.
Yeah, okay. Alright, so if you made it this far, thanks for watching. That's just basically covering just the basic option selects and stuff. Obviously, we can talk for so long with all kinds of different characters and stuff. I might do that if you want to in the future, but yeah, there's probably already all that kinds of different information on competitive For Honor subreddit and Freeze's channel and maybe other channels. So, but yeah, because so many of you guys that watch my videos wanted to know what option selecting was, I basically wanted to just do this quick video, and I hope you learned something. I hope hope you can take something away from it and have some fun with it. So yeah, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.